You ever find yourself staring at your to-do list, thinking, I'll start in 5 minutes, or after one more scroll, and suddenly 3 hours have vanished? Maybe it's not just procrastination. Maybe it's your brain tricking you into thinking overthinking counts as productivity. I know because I lived in that loop. Endlessly planning, endlessly worrying, endlessly delaying. Laziness and overthinking aren't just flaws. They're signals. They're your mind telling you that the systems you rely on are broken. Once I discovered a daily system to fix it, everything changed. Decisions became easier, tasks smaller, and action inevitable. Stick around, because I'm about to share the psychology, the habits, and the practical framework that rewired my mind and made overthinking almost irrelevant. The first behavior I had to confront was the analysis paralysis mindset. Picture me staring at a blank document, not a word typed. Every possible outcome raced through my head. What if it's not perfect? What if I fail? Classic overthinking. Psychology calls this cognitive overload. The brain has limited capacity, and too many choices or too much fear leads to freeze. Overthinking feels like action because you're mentally running through scenarios, but it doesn't move the needle. Maybe it's you. Maybe someone you know who feels stuck staring at possibilities instead of creating reality. The first step to breaking this loop is realizing action beats perfection every time. Even small imperfect steps matter more than endless planning. Then there's the energy drain loop. Laziness often isn't lack of willpower, but mismanaged energy. Imagine lying on the couch, scrolling, telling yourself, I'll start after this episode. Psychology explains this through decision fatigue and dopamine addiction. Every small reactive choice, scrolling, snacking, notifications, drains mental energy. The trick? Control your energy before tasks demand it. Morning routines, physical activity, and brief focus periods serve as mental fuel. When energy is prioritized, laziness diminishes naturally because the brain has resources to act instead of avoid. Even minor adjustments, like a short walk or a splash of cold water, can reset focus instantly. Another profile is the task avalanche syndrome. Ever look at a to-do list and feel crushed? You start thinking, how will I get through all this? And do nothing. Psychologists call this a threat response. The brain conserves resources when overwhelmed. The breakthrough was using microtasks. Instead of the entire mountain, I focused on tiny, actionable steps. The brain interprets small wins as progress, releasing dopamine and momentum. Maybe it's you, maybe someone you know, who can't start because the list is too long. The trick is breaking down massive tasks into pieces that feel achievable and celebrating even the smallest wins to build confidence. Then there's the reactive planner. This mindset hits when you wake up and are pulled in multiple directions because your schedule is vague. Psychologists call this external control fatigue. When the brain reacts to external cues instead of following a plan, stress rises and laziness feels comfortable. My solution: a morning checklist that required no debate. Hydrate, write 3 small priorities, move your body 10 minutes, then begin a microtask. The system does the thinking for you, removing decision burden and procrastination triggers. Soon, your mind stops searching for excuses because the structure guides action automatically. But here's the twist. The power of the system isn't in planning or microtasks alone. It's in habit scaffolding. Each small action is a rung on a behavior ladder. Hydrating isn't just health, it's a trigger. Writing priorities isn't just productivity, it reinforces identity. Moving your body isn't just exercise, it creates momentum. Repeated daily, these actions rewire the brain to favor doing over delaying. Laziness and overthinking shrink because the system carries you forward without constant mental strain. Over time, the subtle buildup of small habits transforms your identity from a procrastinator into a doer. Reflection is essential. Every evening, I spent 5 minutes reviewing what I did, what I avoided, and why. This isn't judgment. It's metacognition, thinking about thinking. Neuroscience shows reflection strengthens pathways for desired behaviors and weakens avoidance patterns. Subtle but profound. You begin noticing triggers for laziness, patterns of overthinking, and gaps between intention and action. Reflection bridges insight and execution, creating clarity and self-awareness that becomes a foundation for consistent progress. Environment engineering is another key element. A cluttered workspace mirrored my scattered mind, wandering, distracted, reluctant, simplifying my space, limiting notifications, and creating visible cues for microtasks eliminated mental friction. Psychologists call this cue-dependent behavior. Your environment can either trigger procrastination or productivity. The system works best when the external world nudges internal action effortlessly. Even small adjustments, like moving your phone out of reach or clearing your desk before starting, can dramatically reduce avoidance. Finally, accountability sealed the system. Sharing progress activates social reinforcement and strengthens consistency. Humans respond to perceived social expectations. Reporting daily micro-wins turns intentions into commitments. Laziness finds fewer footholds. Overthinking loses leverage. Accountability can be internal, a journal, or external, peers. But the effect is the same. It converts intention into automatic action and helps the mind internalize a new identity as a doer. The daily system that fixed my laziness and overthinking was simple. Morning ritual, microtasks, reflection, environment design, and accountability. Each element reinforces the others, creating momentum that requires minimal willpower. Laziness becomes harder than action, and overthinking is channeled into productive planning. Over time, the brain rewires itself to favor doing, learning, and creating. Small habits compound into massive shifts. So, reflect. Which type resonates with you most? Are you trapped in analysis paralysis, drained by reactive habits, buried under task avalanches, or lost in chaotic planning? Notice the systems in your life frameworks that either support action or perpetuate inaction. Small, consistent interventions compound into massive change. You don't need more motivation or grit. You need a system to do the heavy lifting for you, day after day. Start today. Pick one micro task, one morning trigger, and one evening reflection ritual. Make your environment supportive, remove friction, and involve accountability if possible. Follow this system for 30 days and observe how your brain shifts. Laziness and overthinking won't vanish completely, but they will shrink, and action will become default. Once action is default, confidence, productivity, and clarity follow naturally. Which part of this system could you implement first? How does it feel to imagine a day where thinking doesn't paralyze you and action flows naturally? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Test small interventions, observe patterns, and watch the transformation unfold. When you let a system carry you, laziness stops being a habit, and overthinking stops being a trap. They become signals, not chains, and life moves forward, one deliberate step at a time. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Hit the like button if this helped you.